Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and welcome to Lionface Productions' start of the 2011-2012 season with William Shakespeare's The Tempest. I'd like to take 1 second to amend the program slightly. Sadly, our two musical people were left out. So our sound designer and soundboard operator, John Gazda, and our lovely flautist, Pat Schwartz. We are taking donations in the back, also have a bake sale, so if you didn't get anything before the show and you'd like to at intermission, they'll be back there taking care of that. We are a non-profit theater organization, so we survive on community support. Thank you for coming out, and thank you to Bowling Green Parks and Recreation for allowing us the use of this space, and thank you Mother Nature for letting it not be raining right now. In the event that it does start to rain, we will take an intermission and we will reset the show indoors and continue from that point. If that happens.
You better start knocking on that wood.
One small note, you can find the dramaturg note inside our program. The show is done in a commedia dell'arte style, which was a very popular Italian art. It was comedy of the artists, and it was a style that was greatly influential to William Shakespeare, and so I thought that it fit very well with the style of the show, and a lot of the commedia archetypes fit very well with the characters already existing in the play. And so you may see some things you're not used to. The actors, a lot of them will be wearing masks. There will be a lot of more stylized movements and things like that. This is part of the commedia style. So just be aware of that, and please enjoy the show.
the ship be as strong as a nutshell and as leaky as an unstaged wench.
Lay a hold! A hold! 72 crosses off the sea again! Lay her off! All lost! To prayers, all lost! What? Or must our mouths be cold then?
The Queen, Prince of Prayers, let's assist them for our cases as theirs.
I'm out of patience.
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. This white-chapped rascal who might fly wash drowning the washing of 10 times.
Oh, he'll be hanged yet. Though every drop of water swear against it, and gape at whitest to glut him.
Let's all sink with the Queen.
Let's take leave of her.
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground, long heath, the brown furs, anything. The wills above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put these wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, to pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those who have suffered. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble souls in her, dashed all to pieces. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere the good ship so swallowed, and the frightening souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, woe the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee. Of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of the full poor cell and thy no greater father.
Fortunate to never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Lend thy hand. Pluck my magic garment from me. So. Lie there, my heart. Wipe thou thine eyes. Have comfort. The direful spectacle of the rack which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have, with mine art, so sacredly ordered that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an hair be tid to any creature in the vessel which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have not only begun to tell me what I am, and stopped and left me to a bootless imposition, including stay. Not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee. Ope thine ear. Obey, and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
But certainly, sir, I can.
Or what? By any other house or person, of anything the image tell me that hath kept with thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hadst. More, Miranda, but how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark, backward, and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayst.
But that, sir, I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are not you my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan, and his only heir and princess no worse issue.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play brought us here? Or blessed was we did?
By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
Please you further.
My sister, and that all, Antonia, I pray thee mark me, that a sister should be so perfidious, she, who next thyself of all the world I love, and to her put the manage of my state, the government, I cast upon my sister, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false song, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
I pray thee, mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, with that which, but by being so retired, or prized all popular rate, in my false sister awaked an evil nature. She, being thus lorded, made such a sinner of her memory to credit her own lie. She did believe she was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence her ambition grown. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between the part she played and her she played it for, she need will be absolute. Belong. Me, poor man. My library was dukedom large enough. Of royalty she thinks me now incapable. Confederate, so dry she was for sway, with the Queen of Naples. Give her annual tribute, do her homage, subject her coronet to her crown, and bend the dukedom, yet unbowed. Alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark her condition, and the event, and say if this might be a sister.
I should sin but to think nobly of my grandmother. Good wounds have bore bad sons.
Now, the condition, the Queen of Naples, being an enemy, inveterate to me, whereon a treacherous army levy one midnight baited to the purpose, did Antonia open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness, the ministers for the purpose hurried thence, me and thy crying self.
I, not remembering how I cried out then, will cry out there again. It is a hint that brings mine eyes to it.
Here but a little further, and I'll bring thee to the present business which now's upon us, without the which this story were most impertinent.
How came we ashore?
Oh, well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question, dear. They durst not, so dear the love they bore me, set a mark so bloody on the business. But with colors fairer painted their foul ends in view. They bore us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively had quitted.
What trouble I was then to you.
No, a cherubim thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile. Infuse it with a fortitude from heaven when I have decked the sea with drops full salt under my burden, groaned, and raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what might ensue.
Well then, how came we ashore?
By providence divine, some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, being then appointed master of this business, did give us with rich garments, linen, stuffs, and necessaries, which since has steadied much. So, out of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now, I rise. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Upon this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more prophet than other princess can, who have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heaven thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind. The reason for raising the sea storm.
No, thus far forth. By accident, most strange, bountiful fortune now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant. Come, I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come!
Oh, hail, great master, great sir, hail! I come to answer thy great pleasure. be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on curled clouds to thy strong bidding task, Ariel and all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now in the beak, now in the wake, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. The fires and cracks and sulphurous roaring the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason?
Not a soul but felt the fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then, the queen's son Ferdinand, with hair upstirring like reeds not hair, was the first to leave, crying, "Hell is empty and all the devils are here."
Why, that's my spirit, but was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are the Ariel safe?
Not a hair perished. The queen's son I had landed by himself, whom I left cooling the air with sighs in an odd angle of the isle, his arms tied in a sad knot.
Of the queen's ship, the mariners say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in harbor lies the queen's ship, and the deep nook where thou once callest upon me at midnight to fetch morning dew from the still begs for moose. There she's hid. The mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with the charm joined to their most suffered labor, I have left asleep. The rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, are on the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing that they saw their great queen perished and their ship wrecked.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season?
At least 2 glasses, the time twixt 6, and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remind thee what thou hast promised.
How now? Moody, what is thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more!
I pray thee, I have done thee worthy service. Told thee no lies, made no mistakings, served thee without grudge or grumblings. Thou hast promised to bait me a full year.
If thou more murmurst, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails, till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so, and within 2 days I will discharge thee.
There's my noble master. Say what? What shall I do? What shall I do?
Go, make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape, and hither comment. Go hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake, thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on. We'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him, for he does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, slave! Caliban! Thou art thou, speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say, there's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise man! Fine vision. Queen Ariel, hark in thine ear.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth!
As wicked you as ere my mother crushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. The southwest blow on ye and blister you all over.
For this, be sure tonight thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall pen thy breath up. Urchins shall, for that best of night, that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, my cigarette's my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and madest much of me. which gave me water with berries and taught me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burned by day and night. And then I loved thee and showed thee all the qualities of the eye. Fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you. For I am all the subjects that you have, which once was mine own king. And here you stymie in this hard rock, whilst you do keep me from the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, filth as thou art, with humane care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Ho ho! Ho ho! Would it had been done, thou didst prevent me. I'd people else this isle with calabasins.
Upward, slave, which any print of goodness wilt not take, being he hateful of all ill. I pity thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or another, when thou didst not savage. Know mine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. But those thou did learn, thou had in it, which could refuse to bide with. Therefore, thou deservedly confined to this rock. Who hath deserved more than a prison?
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hagseed hence! Fetch us in fuel, and be quick, thou art best to answer other business. Trudgest thou malice? If thou neglect, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with ages, make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee. I must obey. His art is of such power that it would control my damned god Setebos and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence.
On to these yellow sands and then take hands. Curtsied when you have, and kiss the wild waves here. Footed fleetly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark, the watchdogs bark. Hark, hark, I hear the strain of strutting chanty clear cry. Cock-a-doodle-down.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more. And sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the queen my mother's wreck, this music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both its fury and my passion with its sweet airs. And thence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather. But 'tis gone. No, it begins again.
Fathoms wide thy mother lies, of her bones are coral made. Those were the pearls that were her eyes. Nothing of her doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Seen him sourly ring her now. Hark, now I hear them. Ding dong bell.
This ditty does remember my drowned mother. This is no mortal business, nor no sound the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
Advance the fringed curtains of thine eyes, and say what thou seest yon.
What is it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, it carries a brave form, but it's a spirit.
No, wench, it eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he something stained with grief that's beauty's canker, thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing so natural I e'er saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Most sure the goddess on whom these airs attend. Vouchsafe my prayer. May know if you live upon this island, and may give good instruction how I may bear myself here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce is, oh, you wonder, be you maid or no?
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens! I am the best of thee that speaks this speech, were I but if this were spoken.
The best! What wert thou if the Queen of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. She hears me, and that she does I weep. Myself in Naples, whom with mine eyes never since an ebb beheld the Queen my mother wrecked.
Alack for mercy.
Yes, faith, and all his lords, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee if now 'twere fit to do't. At first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir, a word. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so gently? This is the third man that e'er I saw, and the first man that e'er I sighed for. Pity moved my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin in your affections not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir, one word more. They both are in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more. I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast set thyself upon this island as a spy to win it from me, the Lord on't.
No, as I'm a man.
The ill spirit cannot dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have such a house, good things will strive to dwell in it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him, he's a traitor. Come. I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No! I will resist such entertainments, for my enemy has more power.
Sir, have pity, for he is gentle, not fearful.
What, I say? My foot, my tutor! Put up thy sword, traitor, who makes a show but dares not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick, and make thy weapon drop.
I beseech you, father.
Hence, hang not on my garments.
I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, not hate thee. What an advocate for an impostor! Hush! Thou think'st there is no more such shape, says he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish wench! To the most of men this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections, then, are most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits as in a dream are all bound up. The wreck of my mother, the weakness which I feel, the loss of all my friends, nor this man's threats are but light to me. Might I, but through my prison once a day, behold this maid? All corners of the earth, liberty make use of space enough, have I in a prison such as this.
It works. Come on! Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Follow! Mark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort, sweet lord. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwonted which came from now.
Thou shalt be as free as mountain wind. But first, exactly do all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come on! Follow!
Beseech you, ma'am, be merry. You have cause, so have we all. Of joy. For our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the master of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. but for the miracle. I mean our preservation. Few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good ma'am, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
I prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him a so.
Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Ma'am,
One, tell.
when every grief is entertainment's offered comes to the entertainer.
$1.
Oh, dollar comes to him indeed. You've spoken truer than you purposed.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lady,
My, what a spendthrift is he in this cup.
well, I have done. Oh, but yet...
He will be talking.
Which he or Adrian, for a good wager, first begins to crow?
The old cock.
The cockerel.
Done. The wager?
A wager.
A match.
Though this island seems to be desert,
So you're paid.
uninhabitable and almost inaccessible,
Yet,
yet
Could not miss it.
it seems must be in need of a subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Temperance is a delicate blend.
I and as subtle as he most learnedly delivered.
The air breathes upon us most sweetly.
As if it had lungs and rotten lungs.
Or as were perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, safe means to live.
Of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass is. How green.
The ground is indeed tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
This is not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which indeed is almost beyond credit,
As most vouched rarities are.
that our garments, being, as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies?
Aye, or very falsely pocket of his report.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we put them on first in Africa, at the marriage of the Queen's fair daughter Clarabelle to the King of Tunis.
Was it?
This was never before graced with such a paragon to their queen.
Not since Widow Dido's time.
Widow? A pox on that. How came that widow in? Widow Dido.
What if he had said widower Aeneas too? Good Lord, how you take it.
Widow Dido, you make me study at that. She was of Tunis, not Carthage.
This Carthage, sir, was Tunis.
Tunis.
I assure you, Tunis.
His word is more than the miraculous heart. He hath raised the wall and houses too.
What impossible matter will he make easy next?
I think he will carry this island home in his pocket and give it his son for an apple.
Oh, and sowing the kernels up into the sea, bring forth more islands.
Aye!
Why, in good time.
Good lady, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we wore it at Tunis, at the marriage of your daughter who is now queen.
And the rarest that ever came there.
Wait, I beseech you, widow Dido.
Widow Dido, I, Widow Dido.
Is not, ma'am, my doublet as fresh as first day I wore it? Well, I mean, in a sort?
That sort was well fished for.
I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into my ear against the stomach of my sense. Would that I never married my daughter there. For coming thence, my son is lost. And in my rage she too, who so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Man, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon the bags he trode the water, whose enmity he flung aside and breasted. He surged most swollen that met him. His bold head both the contentious waves. He kept from oared himself with good arms and lusty stroke to the shore that o'er his wave-worn bases bode. Stooping to relieve him, I no doubt he made it live to land.
No, he's gone.
Man, you may thank yourself for this great loss that would not bless our Europe with your daughter, rather than lose her to an African, where she at least is vanished from your eye, who hath caused sweat and grief on it.
I prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us, and the fair soul herself. Weighed between loathness and obedience, and which end of the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear forever. Ha! Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My Lord Sebastian! The truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster. Very well.
And most courageously.
It is foul weather within us all, good man, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather?
Very foul.
Thy plantation of this isle, my lord!
He'd sow it with nettle seed.
Or ducks, or mallows.
Were King Ont, Oh, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
In the Commonwealth, I would by contraries execute all things. For no kind of traffic would I admit. No name of magistrate. Letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, or use of service? None. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard, none. No use of metal, or corn, or wine, or oil. No occupation. All men idle. All. Oh, and women too. But innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
Yet he would be king on it.
All the latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce, without sweat or endeavor, or treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth, of its own kind, all foison, all abundance, to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among his subjects?
None, man, all idle, whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, ma'am, to excel the golden age.
God save his majesty!
Long live Gonzalo!
And... do you mark me, ma'am?
I prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing.
I do well believe, your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs, that they always use to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Oh, who, in this kind of merry fooling, am nothing to you. So you may continue and laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow was there given!
And it had not fallen flat long.
You are gentlemen of brave metal! You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she continued on it 5 weeks without changing!
We would so, and then go of that fouling.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. You laugh me asleep, for I am very heavy.
Go sleep and hear us.
What, also stay asleep? Wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. Find they're inclined to do so.
Please you, madam, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face. What thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks to thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? This is a strange repose. To be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep. Die, rather, winkst while thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I'm more serious than my custom. You must be so too in evening, which to do so trebles the old.
While I am standing water,
I'll teach you how to plow.
do so. To ebb hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish whilst thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed do most often near the bottom run by their own fear or sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine iron sheet proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, though this lord of weak remembrance this, who shall be of his little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuade, for he is a spirit of persuasion. The queen her son's alive. 'Tis as impossible that he is undrowned as she who sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope hath he? No hope one way is another way, so high a hope that ambition cannot pierce a wing beyond, but doubt the dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life. She that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post, the man in the moon's too slow. Till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom we were all sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what to come in yours and my discharge.
What stuff is this? How saying? 'Tis true, my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so was she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wail. There be that can rule Naples as well as she that sleeps. Lords that can prate on as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself can make a chop of this deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeder than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they're my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir. Where lies that? If 'twere a kite, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences stand twixt me and Milan. Candied be they and melt ere they molest. There lies your sister, no better than the earth she lies upon. If she were that which now she's like, that's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, might lay to bed forever. Wills you, doing thus, to the perpetual wink where I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who shall not upbraid our course. For the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gott'st Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy seal. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to call it upon Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word.
My master through his art perceives the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, or else his project dies to keep them living. While you here do snoring long, open-eyed conspiracy his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake!
Then let us both be sudden.
No, good angels! Preserve the queen!
Why, how now? How, awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather lions. Oh, did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing. 'Twas a din that bred a monster's ear. Surely it was a roar of the whole herd of lions. Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon my honor, ma'am, I heard a humming. Isn't that a strange one, too? Which did awake me. I shaped you, ma'am, cried. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. Would you stand upon our guard or quit this place? Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground. Let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens, protect them from these beasts, for he is sure in the island.
Lead away. Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, queen, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up, from fog bogs, fens, flats, unprosper, fall, and make him by inch-wheeler disease. The spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll more pitch, fight me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire, nor leave me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way unless he bid him. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometimes they gaze and moan and shatter at me and have to fight me. Then like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way, and mount their bricks at my footfall. Sometimes am I all wound with adders, with cloven tongues to hiss me into madness. Lo now, lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing in wood slowly. I'll fall flat, perchance he will not mind me.
Is neither bush nor shrub to bear up any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same cloud, yon huge one looks like a foul bomb that would shed his liquor. It should thunder as it did before. I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? Oh, fish! Oh, it smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. The kind of not of the newest Port John. A strange fish. Were I in England now, as once I was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there, but would give a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. When they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man. Fins like arms. Worm! Oh, my troth! I do let loose my opinion hold no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderstroke. Alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There's no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Here will I shroud till the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to see. Here I shall die a short. This is a scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Here's my comfort. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate. The bold may give Marion and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate. For she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, go hang! She loved not the savor of tar nor pitch, and a tailor might scratch her where she did itch. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang! This is a scurvy tune, too. Here's my comfort.
Torment me all!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon us with savages and men of Ind? I have not escaped drowning to be afraid of your forelegs now, for it hath been said, as proper man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give ground. And so it shall be said so again, while Stefano breathes at nostrils.
The spirits torment me all!
This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs who hath got as I take an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I would give him some relief if it be but for that. If I could recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him. Oh, he's a present for any emperor that ever trods on meat's leather.
Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood in faster.
He isn't a fit now, does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If he has never drunk wine afore, go near to remove his fit. If I can recover him, keep him tame, I will not take too much for him. He will pay for him that hath him, and that soundly.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon, I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon thee.
Go on your ways, open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Come on your ways, this will shake your shaking, I can tell you that, and that soundly. Oh, he can tell who's his friend. Come on your ways, open your chaps.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned, and these are devils who defend me.
wicked monster. His forward voice is to speak well of his friend, while his backward voice instead of foul speech is crack. If all the wine in my bottle can recover him, mercy, amen. I'll pour some in my other. Doth thy other mouth call me? You are a devil and not a monster. Mercy, mercy, I will leave him be. I have no long spoon.
Stefano, if thou beest, Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard. Thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by the lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How now, Trinculo? How camest thou to be the siege of this moon calf? Could he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed by a thunderstroke. Not thou, not drowned, Stefano. I hope thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead moon calf's gabardine for fear of the storm. But art thou yet alive, Stefano? Oh, Stefano, do Neapolitan escape!
Do not turn me about, my stomach's not coasting.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites that brave God and bear celestial liquor, I shall kneel to him.
How camest thou here? How didst thou escape? Swear by this bottle. For my part, I escaped upon a butter sack which the sailors heaved overboard. But swear by this bottle how camest hither.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear thou thou escapest.
Swam ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck. I was sworn.
We'll kiss the book, for thou canst swim like the duck, thou art shaped like the goose.
Stefano, hast any more of this?
Ha ha, the whole butt, man. My cellar is a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, moon calf? How's thine aching?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out to the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
Oh, I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee and thy dog and thy push.
Here, swear to that. Kiss the book. We'll furnish it with new content. Swear.
Oh, by this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I have feared him. A very weak monster, the man in the moon. A most poor, credulous monster, well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island. I'll kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my God.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come on, then. Down and swear.
I shall have myself in that, at this puppy-headed monster. A
Come.
most scurvy monster. I can find in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But that the monster is in drink an abominable monster.
I'll show thee all the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries, fish for thee, and get thee wood enough. I'll plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
Most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where the crabs grow, and I with my long nails will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. Sometimes I'll bring thee to clustering filberts and get the young scamels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
Prithee, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here. There, my bottle full of Trinculo. We will fill it anon with new contents again and again.
Farewell, master! Farewell! Farewell!
Howling monster! A drunken monster!
No more damsel, make forfish, no fiction, firing at brick firing, no scrape trencher, no wash dish. Fan, Calaban, as a new master, as a new man. Freedom, hey day, freedom, freedom, hey day, freedom.
Oh, great monster, lead the way!
There be some sports are painful, and their labor delights in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and some poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as it is odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my pains pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's craft, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some 1,000 of these logs and pile them upon a sore junction. My mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such baseness never had like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do refresh my labors. Most busy lest when I do them.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you were enjoined to pile. Pray, rest yourself. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
Oh, most dear mistress, the sun will set before I discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll set your logs down and rest, I'll carry them to the pile. Pray, give me that.
Oh, most precious creature, I would rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my goodwill is to it, and yours it is again.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda? Oh, Father, I broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. A full many lady I've eyed with best regard, and often their tongue hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues I have liked several women, but never any with so fun a soul. But some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest graces she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my own sex. No woman's face, save from my glass, have I seen except my own. Nor may have I seen more than I may call Meg than you, good friend. How features are abroad. I am skilless. But by my modesty, the jewel of my dower, I could not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape to like thereof, besides yourself. When I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts hide there and do forget.
I am in thy condition, Miranda, a prince. I would think a king. I would not so. I would no more endure this wooden slavery than suffer the flesh lie blown my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, my heart flew to your service, and there resides to make me slave to it. And for your sake, I am this patient log. Man.
Do you love me?
Oh heavens! Oh earth! Hear this sound and profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly invert what is best voted in me to mischief. I beyond all corners of the earth love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I know I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
My own worthiness, that I dare not offer what I shall die to take, and must not give what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, prompt me, plain and holy innocence. I am your wife. If you will have me, if not, I'll die your maid. To be your servant, I will follow you, whether you will or no.
My mistress dearest, thus I am humbled ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ere freedom, here is my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now, farewell, till half an hour hit.
madness as they, I cannot be, who are surprised withal. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. Out to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
Tell me not, when the butter's out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore bear up and boredom, servant monster. Drink to me.
Servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there's but 5 upon this island. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brave like us, the state taught us.
Drink what I bid thee, servant monster. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
But where should they be set else? You were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man, monster, hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore. 35 leagues off and on. By this light, monster, thou shalt be my lieutenant if thy list, or thy standard.
Oh, your lieutenant if you list. He's no standard.
Will not run, monsieur, monster.
Nor go neither. But you lie like dogs and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve him. He's not done.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am encased to jostle the constable. Why, thou debauched fish, thou? Was ever a man, a coward that had drunk as much sack as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Oh, how he mocks me. Wilt thou let him, Lord?
Oh, Lord, quoth thee that a monster should be such a natural.
Oh, low again. Bite him to death, I prithee.
Drigolo, keep a good tongue in thy head, if thou provest a mute near the next tree. The poor monster's my subject and will not suffer indignity.
Thank my noble master. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made thee?
Mary, will I kneel? I will stand. So shall Drigolo.
As I told thee before, this island is subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest!
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I would beseech my master, give thee blows. And I do not lie.
Drigolo, trouble the monster one word further in this tale, and by the sand I'll supplant some of your teeth.
Why, I said nothing.
Mum then, and no more. Proceed.
As I say, by sorcery he got this island. From me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee.
How canst this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord. Within this half hour will I yield him thee asleep, where thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
Oh, what a fine thing is this, thou scurvy patch! I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottle from him. And when that's gone, he shall drink snuff. Oh, not show him where the quick freshers are.
Drigolo, run no further into danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stuffed fish of thee.
Why, what did I? I did nothing. I'll go further off.
Did thou not say he liest?
Thou liest.
Do I so? Well then take me that, and that! If you like me, give me the lie another time.
I did not give the lie. Out of your wits and bearing to a pox of your bottle, this can sack and drinking do. A murrain on your monster, and the devil take your fingers.
Prithee, stand farther off. Proceed.
Beat him enough. After some time, I'll beat him too.
Stand farther away! Now forward with your tale.
As I said, it is a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There, thou mayest bring him, having first ceased to hit, or batter a skull with a log, or punch him with a stick, or cut his reason with a knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them, his blood is salt, as am I, and has not one spiritual man. They'll do hate him as rootingly as I. Learn but his books, for he has brave utensils, so he calls them, which when he has a house, he will deck withal. And that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her nonpareil. I never saw a woman but only Sycorax my dam, and she and she as fostervath as Sycorax's greatest does least.
Is it so brave a lass?
Aye, my lord. She'll become thy bed, I warrant, and bring me forth brave brood.
Monster, I will slay this man. His daughter and I shall be king and queen, save our graces, and Trinculo and myself shall be viceroys. Dost thou likest the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Well then, give me thy hand. I'm sorry I beat thee, but while thou livest, keepeth a good tongue in thy head.
Oh, within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou do the deed then?
Aye, on mine honor.
This I shall tell my master.
Thou makest me merry. I'm full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you troll the catch you taught me but while there?
By the sound, monster, I shall do reason any reason. Come, Trinculo, let us sing! A flautum and scoutum and scoutum and flautum, thought is free!
That's not the tune.
This is not the same.
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself! If thou beest the devil, take thou as thy list.
Oh, forgive me my sins. Oh.
He that died pays all death. Mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster. Nay.
Be not afeard. The island is full of sounds, noises, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that, had I waked after long sleep, would make me sleep again. And then in me dreams, methought the clouds would open, showing riches ready to rain upon me, that when I woke, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave island where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed.
That shall be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let us swallow wind after do our work.
Lead, monster. I would see this cabaret. He lays it on.
Wilt come? I'll follow. Stefano.
Aching. Ma'am, my old bones ache. I can go no further. Here's a maze trod indeed through forthrights and meanders. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
Oh Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dulling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I shall put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is gone, whom thus we seek to find, and the sea mocks our frustrated search on land. Well, let him go. I'm right glad that she's so out of hope. Do not the one propose forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage we will take thoroughly.
Let it be tonight. For now they are oppressed with travel, they will not nor cannot use such vigilance as when they're fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friends, hark!
Marvelous. Sweet music.
Gibbous Keepers, heavens! What were these?
A living drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns. That in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix throne. One phoenix at this hour reigning there.
I'll believe both. What does else one credit come to me, and I'll swear 'tis true. Travelers never did lie, though fools at home condemn them.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me? If I should say I saw such islanders? For certes these are people of the island, who, though they are of monstrous shape, yet, note, their manners are more gentle kind than that of our human generation. You shall find many, almost any.
Honest lord, thou hast said well, for some of you there present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse such shapes, such gestures, such sound, expressing, though they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
Praising departing, they vanished strangely.
No matter, since they have left their viands behind, for we have stomachs. Will it please you taste of what is here?
Not I.
Your faith, ma'am, you need not fear. When we were young, who would believe there were mountaineers, dewlap-like bulls, whose throats had hanging at them wallets of flesh? Or there were such men whose heads stood on their breasts, which now we find each putter out of 1 for 5 will bring us good warrants of.
I will stand to and feed, although my last. No matter, since I feel the best is past. Brother, my lady the Duke, stand to and do as bid.
You are 3 men of sin whom destiny hath caused to belch of you, and on this island where men have none pivot, you amongst men being most unfit to live. I have made you mad, and even with such like valor men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate, the elements, of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds. My fellow ministers are light and vulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strengths, and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you, if you 3 from the lawn did supplant good Prospero, for which foul deeds the cowards delay, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all creatures against your peace. The advice on Alonzo they have bereft shall step by step attend you and your ways. Upon your heads is nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel. A grace it had, devouring. Of my instructions hast thou nothing bated in what thou hast to say. So, with good life and observation strange, my meaner ministers their several kinds have done. My high charms work, and these, mine enemies, are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power, and in these skates I leave them while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
Name of something holy! Oh, ma'am! Why stand you in the strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous! Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The wind did sing it to me, and the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, did pronounce the name of Prosper. Did vex my trespass. Therefore my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than e'er Clement sounded. With him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time I'll fight their legions o'er.
I'll be thy second.
All 3 of them are desperate! For great guilt like a poison, given to work a great time after, now against to fight the spirit. I beseech you that our suppler joins, follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy may provoke them to.
Follow and pray!
We'll be taking a 10-minute intermission here, folks, so you can get up, stretch your legs, if you have to go use the facilities. And also there's the bake sale at the back. If anybody's interested, there's cookies and bread and stuff like that.
The world